So, y'all want to see all the hair that I combed out of my locks? Y'all, it's a lot. It is a lot. It's basically the size of one of my dogs. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Sandra and thank you so much for tuning in. So, as you can see, I have taken out my locks. It's been about, I want to say maybe 1 week, almost 2 weeks. It's been almost 2 weeks since I combed out my locks, and I know some people are very upset. Some of my friends that have followed me along on my lock journey, they were like,
oh no, why Sandra? Why did you take out the locks?
But y'all, they had to come out. And this isn't like a diss to having locks. I really enjoyed having them. I enjoyed the process of locking my own hair because I did it myself. I enjoyed watching my hair change and just the entire process. I enjoyed it. However, there are some things that I was experiencing during my lock journey that I really didn't like, and I feel like if I were to relock my hair, I would do it differently. I'm gonna just go over some of the things that caused me to comb out my locks and tell you how I feel about it, if I miss them. You know, I'll give you all the tea, every last drop. One of the things that I really did not like about my locks was that some of my locks some of the locks in the back of my scalp, take 3. Some of the locks in the back of my head were flat. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with like having flat locks. Like there are people that, you know, they freeform. So some of their locks are just flat. However, that's not the look I was really going for. I would find myself really like playing with them, trying to get them to round out, but nothing really worked. So I had like several locks in the back of my head, and it was the bigger ones too. Just they would flatten out, and I really didn't like that look. I wanted them to be more round. I mean, I didn't want my locks to be 100% perfect, but I wanted them to at least be round. So I didn't like the fact that some of the locks were flat. Also, I was getting like these really bad like sores on my scalp, and it would hurt, you know, if I moved my locks a little bit, it would just hurt. Sometimes just laying on them would hurt a little bit. And I really didn't manipulate my hair a lot. Like honestly, I just usually wore it down, put a headband on, call it a day. I don't know what it was, but like I had really sensitive scalp, and I'm not tender-headed at all. Like I grew up with the hot comb, and if you move, you get hit with the regular comb. Like I am not tender-headed at all. But it was making my head very, very tender, and it was really starting to hurt in certain places. And I really didn't like that at all. And then I feel like I really missed my curls. I would look at old pictures and I would just see how big my hair was. And my locks, they weren't super voluminous. I think that for my face shape, I like bigger hair. The only reason my hair is straight in this video is because I tried to clip my ends. I wanted to clip my ends before I got my hair braided because, you know, when you have bad ends, it just tends to like unravel. And I'm not trying to lose all my length, okay? I gained so much length during my lock journey, like I don't want to lose all of it. Granted, I probably need to cut even more of my ends, but I started with what I have, and then after I take my braids out, I'll probably snip a little bit more until I get to a place where I like how my ends look. They look very healthy, so I'm just gonna do a little bit at a time. But yeah, that's the reason why I took out my locks. Flat locks, pains on my scalp, and then also I missed my big curly voluminous hair. So y'all want to see all the hair that I combed out of my locks? Y'all, it's a lot. It is a lot. It's basically the size of one of my dogs. And it's gonna look crusty because this hair's been sitting here for like almost 2 weeks, and I was using conditioner to kind of comb out my locks. So the conditioner is still in there, but this is all the hair that I combed out of my head. I'm not gonna take it out because I don't want hair to get all over my apartment, but yeah, this bag is all the hair that I combed out when I was taking out my locks. And I tried my best to grab every little bit. Like, it's just, look at that. It's just so much hair. This is enough hair to put on somebody else's head. And they would have a lot of hair. There's some lint. It wasn't a whole lot of lint, but there was definitely some lint. Still very soft. Like, this is very, very soft. But yeah, this is all the hair that I combed out, taking out my locks. Wow. Oh my goodness. So the entire process of like combing out my locks took me about 3 days. I started on like a Saturday evening, worked all the way until about midnight, all day Sunday, and then after work, I combed out my locks from about 5 o'clock to midnight. And at that point, that was when all of them were gone. I had 71 locks. It took me that long to comb them out. I didn't know how much conditioner and how many rat tail combs I was gonna need to go through my entire head. But honestly, I only needed one full thing of conditioner and one rat tail comb. I was very careful with it. So essentially, like, how I did it was I would have a lock. Let's just say this is a lock, and then the end is like turned under like that. So essentially, I was putting a bunch of conditioner, wet my hair, a bunch of conditioner, and I was taking the rat tail comb and trying to break the ends, which in retrospect, I should have just snipped it. You know, I should have just snipped the ends and then started combing it out. But I don't know what I was thinking. Stupid. But we're here now, so it all worked out. But I just went up the entire lock. What was very difficult about combing out my locks was that once it got to the very end, where it was like my loose hair and then the part that was beginning to lock, was that after going through this like this so many times and combing through, this part would get so tiny that I couldn't really get the end of the rat tail comb to go through it. And so that part was very difficult, and it gave me so much anxiety because, like, you know, you don't want to go through this whole process of combing out the lock, trying to preserve as much of your hair as you can, and then you get to like this little part right here that is holding the rest of this hair together, and then pulling on it too hard, and next thing you know, your hair is on the floor. It was a very nerve-wracking experience once I would get to the end part like that. The thicker locks were easier to comb out, which I thought was weird. I thought the thinner ones were gonna be easier, but no. The thicker ones, I got those done pretty fast. Ever since I combed out my locks, I've been just loving my, you know, loose natural hair. I'm glad I got to retain so much of my length. My ends are still terrible. I cut off maybe about this much of my ends. And after I take out my braids, because I want to get box braids, not next week, but the week after, I'm going to get box braids. After I take those out, I'll give myself another little trim, probably just wear my loose natural hair for another like month or so, get braids again. I like braids. They're very good protective style, and they're cute, and they're, you know, they're nice and long. You get to have some length and, you know, enjoy it. I like having braids. So what you're probably wondering is, do you miss your locks? And yes. I'll watch some of my older videos and I'm just like, oh, my locks looked really cute. I enjoyed them. I loved that I did them myself. You know, I only had one person service my locks once, and then I got braids over my locks twice. So majority of my lock journey was just me retwisting my hair, doing it myself. I would relock my hair, maybe not anytime soon, but if I do, that's gonna be something where it's like, I'm not combing this shit out again. If they're gonna go, your girl's gonna shave her head, because that process was just, it was too much. I did not like it. This finger is just now starting to get feeling. This finger has been numb for the past 2 weeks almost. And it's just now starting to get its feeling back from like holding the dang blasted comb the way I was. It was just, this finger was very numb. Like I said, I stabbed myself on accident with the rat tail comb a couple times, and that hurt. I don't want to go through that process again. No. No, thank you. I'll just shave my head and start over. But yeah, so this is what my hair is looking like. If you like this content, you already know what to do. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. As you can tell, your girl's channel's been growing, okay? This last like couple of weeks, like my channel grew so much. And granted, it's still a baby channel, okay? It's still a baby channel, but we're getting there slowly but surely. You know, I'm still trying to figure out what direction I want my channel to go in. I'm still trying to figure out, you know, what people like, what people don't like. So any suggestions are welcomed. But thank you so much, and I will see you with the next video. Bye.